Okay, so today, as you know, we are looking at famous pop artists. We just watched a video and learned about pop art, and we watched a little bit of Wayne T-Ball's works and looked at some of his works. He did everything from cakes to candies. He loved to look at food, everyday food, and kind of elevate it into art by drawing it in and repeating it, making kind of patterns and movement out of that art. So there's usually a lot of them on page. So we're going to look at that and kind of look at how he balanced the page and used those elements of art to really make everything really pop off the page and really bright and colorful. So today we're just going to do the first part, which is drawing the outline of the Gumball machine that we looked at, and then if we have enough time, outlining it in marker. And we're going to use those elements of art to break it down so that it's easy to draw. So we're going to break it down just line by line and into shapes. So the top of the Gumball machine is what shape? It's a circle, right? So we're going to start by drawing a circle. Now, I don't want us to trace it because I think it's really important to learn how to draw a circle. And if we trace, we never learn. So I'm going to start by making a little tiny line at the top, and then I'm going to go to the middle of the page and I'm going to make another little line. That's going to be the top and the bottom of my circle. I'm going to go into the middle, try and find the middle of that, and just make a dot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pencil to measure. So I'm going to line my tip of my pencil up with that line and put my finger on the pencil where this line hits. So it's right here. So I'm going to hold that still, and then I'm going to turn and put my finger here, and this is where, first I'm going to hold this down, is where another line of my circle will hit, and then put my finger here, and this is where my other line will hit. So now this and this should be about the same size as this and this. And when we connect them, it should make a pretty good circle. So now we just very lightly are trying to connect these dots. So don't press hard, because it's easy to make a mistake and make it too skinny or not curved enough, and then it's really hard to erase. But if we draw light, then we can erase it if we don't like our circle. So I'm going to draw really, really light. And once I have it so that I like it, I'm going to go back and draw it a little darker. If I make a mistake, don't erase yet. Leave your mistake there, because it's a lot easier to redraw it right when you're looking at what you did wrong before. Once you get it right, then erase your mistake. Okay, so now I'm going to go back, and anywhere where I had a line I didn't like, I'm going to erase. So anywhere that's not that right line, I'm going to erase. Now here's my circle. It's not perfect, and that's okay, right? If we wanted a perfect Gumball machine, we would just print off a picture. But we don't want that. We want artwork. We want to express how we see it and how we experience it. And so everyone's is going to be a little different, and they're not going to be perfect, and that's what makes art so great. So don't worry if it's not perfect. Now, the bottom of it is kind of like a cylinder, but it comes out. It goes a little in at the edge. So we're going to take two diagonal lines, so lines like this, coming out of the bottom of the circle. So it kind of looks right now like a fortune teller globe, right? And then we're going to do a straight line down and a straight line down the same length. Okay, now this, we're not going to go straight, we are going to curve. We're going to try and curve at the same angle almost as this circle. So curve that line down to the middle and then start curving it back up. Awesome. Now we're going to do the same thing. Curve it down. When you get to the middle, start curving it back up. All right. Now we are going to add the little change part. So that's just a rectangle, but again, we curve this top line, and we curve this bottom line, and then we're going to do a little upside down U. Okay? Well, that was a little big. Maybe erase that. See, even teachers make mistakes. Let's do a little smaller. You know what? In fact, let's bring this down more. Just rethinking this. And make it a little bit bigger. See, this is why we draw light, because everyone makes mistakes. That's why we love erasers. So don't get upset if you make a mistake. Just erase it and try again. We're going to make a line here and write 25 cents. So a 2, a 5, and a cent sign. Then here, we're going to do an oval fitting into that mark. Erase this little tiny mistake here. And curve like this. This is where the gumballs come out. Okay, now the last step before we add the gumballs is to make the counter that it's sitting on. So we're just going to do a straight line, and it's going to disappear. It's going to stop and disappear behind this, and then start again on this side. Okay, now we're ready for our gumballs. Again, just try your best to do as big a circles as you can. Don't worry if they're not perfect. You can do your machine full, you can do it half full, you could just do a few gumballs. It's up to you. I think it's going to look good if you have it at least half full, because we want lots of color. Okay? And then once you're done, let's add a few more. Okay. Once you're done, you're going to grab a Sharpie and you're going to trace everything that we just did really carefully. Ooh, that Sharpie's dead. If your Sharpie is dead, throw it out. You don't want it. Okay, so you're going to trace everything that we just drew in pencil in Sharpie. Take your time, go slow, and if your marker starts drying out, come and get a new one, okay? So this one's already starting to dry out. So I might need to get another one. That's okay. Go slow. Now remember, you cannot erase permanent marker. So if you make a mistake with this, we're just going to have to turn it into something else. So if you make a mistake with this, just keep going, finish, and then raise your hand when you're all done, and I'll come around and we'll try and figure out a way to fix it. But just keep moving on so we can all get it all traced in this class, okay? We're not going to be coloring in. Even if, let's say, you wanted black gumballs, you would not color in a marker. We're going to be using oil pastels, just like we did for the bubbles, to color these in. So this marker is starting to die, so I'm going to get a different one. Okay, everyone, start working.